There is a specific emptiness every human being encounters, an inner quiet that always returns, no matter how much we try to ignore it. We typically try to silence it by consuming whatever is immediately available. We stack up wealth, chase after influence, seek out physical pleasure, or accumulate worldly knowledge, hoping one of these will finally hit the spot. But these pursuits act like junk food for the soul. They offer a quick spike of satisfaction, followed almost immediately by an even deeper, more persistent starvation. The biblical account traces this back to a breakdown in our original design. It suggests that when the first humans turned away from God, they severed the fellowship that was intended to sustain them. This separation created a literal spiritual vacuum inside the human spirit. Human solutions inevitably fail because it is impossible to cure a non-physical starvation with physical resources. This is the context for the statement in John chapter 6. Jesus doesn't offer to hand out food. He claims, "I am the bread of life." He moves the focus from a provision he can give to a provision he represents. To explain the mechanics of salvation, God used the most mundane item in the house. Bread is a basic requirement for human survival, and it serves as the biological map for spiritual nourishment. The comparison is straightforward. On the biological side, physical bread sustains life and requires daily consumption. Similarly, this framework suggests the human soul requires continuous daily interaction with Christ to remain vital. Just as physical food converts into biological energy, the life of Christ is presented as the source for spiritual output, supplying internal strength, peace, and hope when a person is depleted. Finally, there is accessibility. Bread is a universal staple, shared across every culture. In the same way, this spiritual salvation is described as a gift offered to all of humanity without restriction. The metaphor holds because both physical biology and spiritual theology rely on the same logic. Survival depends on continuous external nourishment to stave off death. There is a historical precedent for this in the book of Exodus. While the Israelites were in the wilderness, God provided manna, a literal bread that appeared on the ground to keep them from starving. But manna was a temporary fix. It sustained biological bodies for a single day at a time, and every person who ate it eventually died. Jesus used this history to draw a sharp contrast. Through his life, death, and resurrection, he scaled the concept of provision up from temporary survival to eternal life. The functional difference is specific. Manna delayed physical death. Jesus cures spiritual death. By becoming the living bread, Jesus superseded the miracle in the wilderness to provide a final, permanent solution for spiritual hunger. This entire theme is anchored by a linguistic detail regarding the place where Jesus was born. He was born in Bethlehem. In Hebrew, that name translates literally as house of bread. The bread of life entered the human story through the house of bread. This alignment suggests a highly coordinated, intentional plan established long before the event occurred. Recognizing this design changes how we view our own internal emptiness. When we see what the void was actually shaped for, we can stop trying to fill it with temporary things. The deepest human need, peace with God and eternal life, has already been supplied. That realization makes the exhausting